Well, moving now to developments in the Middle East, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for recent assassinations of pro-Western lawmakers in Lebanon. During a speech on Friday, Nasrallah said Israel wanted to cause friction between his pro-Syria faction and pro-Westerners. He made the speech to thousands of supporters on Al-Quds, or Jerusalem Day. Nasrallah also called on Arab countries to boycott a U.S.-backed peace conference scheduled for next month.
I want to warn against the international meeting called by the U.S. President George W. Bush. What is grave is that there is an American-Israeli plan for Israel to win normalization with some Arab countries with which it does not have ties, without giving anything to the Palestinians.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert will be holding peace talks later this week. And the U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice will be in the region to help the two leaders draft a tentative peace plan for the November conference. For more on that, Daniel Lubetzky joins me now from New York. He is the founder and president of OneVoice, an organization that supports political moderates in the region. Thank you so much for joining us. What are the chances that Olmert and Abbas will be able to agree on this document before the peace conference?
I think it depends on all of us, on the people that are fed up with seeing people like Nasrallah and extremists on all sides hijacking our lives for far too long. Both President Abbas and Prime Minister Olmert need to be strengthened by the people. The overwhelming millions of Israelis and Palestinians elected their heads of state with a clear mandate for ending the conflict. We have an opportunity with two leaders that want to do this. We now need to strengthen them. Hamas is calling them calling Abbas an illegitimate leader. Abbas and Abbas need
that's
to be
what I was going to ask you. Hamas won elections legitimately.
Hamas won with a 44% plurality, whereas Abbas a year before was elected with a 73% vote. And Hamas's election was change and reform, an internal election, which then turned, as we all know, with the debacle that they caused in Gaza.
But can there be an agreement for peace between Palestinians and Israelis without Hamas, without Gaza?
The agreement is dependent on the people standing up. The overwhelming majority of Israelis and Palestinians have declared very clearly that they support the Clinton parameters. 76% of Palestinians and Israelis support a two-state solution. Now they need to stand up and be counted. For the first time in history, on October 18th, to prepare the mood for these negotiations, hundreds of thousands of Israelis and Palestinians have already joined the One Voice movement. We have over 500,000 citizens that have joined at 1millionvoices.org. And on October 18th, for the first time in history, Israelis, Palestinians, and international supporters worldwide, the same day will share the same message. We are fed up. We've had enough. We want an end to this conflict now. We will support you, our moderate leaders, and we will not allow forces of fatalism, apocalypse, to just continue hijacking. It's so comfortable for Nasrallah to try to undermine the efforts of our leaders that we elected for these efforts. We have to once and for all say, we're not going to allow extremists to derail us. Silence from the citizens is a proxy vote from extremism. And every citizen that's watching right now, whether in Israel or Palestine or in the Arab world or in the United States, has to understand they have to play a role. They have to help us amplify the voice of moderates so that we can build the critical mass necessary to tell our political leaders, you have the support necessary. Carry this thing out once and for all. We cannot allow this to continue.
Daniel Lubetzky, founder and president of OneVoice, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Speaking for the moderates in that process.